Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1.5 Championship. We're today for round 16 of 16, the Great British Grand Prix, the finale. It's been a very mixed season, very up and down, pretty crazy moments throughout the entirety, of course. Amazing entertainment throughout the entire thing, and it's been our most successful season. Statistically, overall, our most successful year, of course, 2022. I should say as well, this is going to be the final F1.5 race that we have in 2022. And then we'll go on to 2023 back in January. That's the next time you'll see these guys. So for one last time, we're going to be going racing. We're in qualifying right now. Currently, Pursoon tops the times, no surprise there, 27.3, absolutely mega. Cohen is going to look to try and challenge that, although they have already done a lap here. They invalidated just a few minutes ago, so they're going for a second run. But what we saw yesterday is you just need to get something down, because it can be very tricky, as JJ finds out. As long as you have something down, you'll be good to go. There's a collision with Robbo and JJ's crashed car, and that's a 5-place grid penalty for Robbo. So Robbo, regardless of where they start, is going to start 5 positions behind. That is extremely unfortunate. I don't know what happened there. That is a very weird one, but it is what it is. I guess nothing we can really do about it at this stage. Cohen looking to try and set their third lap time. As I said, the nature of this circuit, it's so tricky to get right that you can easily make mistakes. So if you can set just a banker lap, just something to put down that is decent, you're going to be at such an advantage, because you'll be able to then risk more in the later stages of the session to try and get a higher grid position. It seems very self-explanatory, but at other circuits it's maybe not as important. But this circuit in particular, it is extremely important. At 27.7, not too bad to begin with. Not close enough to Pursoon though. But as I was saying, this circuit is so technical. You have to get it right. If you get it right, you're going to have a great time on the circuit. If you get it wrong, you're going to have a terrible time. So yeah, it's pretty crazy for sure. So JJ crashes, retires. Unfortunately, their brakes weren't responding, which is an interesting situation for them to believe. To be in, sorry. Alrighty, well, we'll have to look into that one afterwards. Nothing we can look at it now. We're just going to have to get on with the qualifying session, unfortunately. Cohen, of course, has set their lap time. Nifajan on an out lap, or on a lap right now, but they're not setting any laps anytime soon, of course, because they are a higher tier driver. In the Red Bull today, we've got Zora in P10, but interestingly on that medium tyre with some very new tyre warming techniques as well. We've got Heisler on an outlap, Gilly on an outlap, but they've gone yellow in the first sector, which by the way isn't fastest. It's not what you want at all. Hopefully they don't have any damage, and hopefully they'll be good to go, but I'm not quite sure. Heisler will be looking to try and improve. Yesterday, unfortunately, their race didn't exactly last too long, so they're going to look at a bit of redemption here if possible. It'd be nice to see Heisler get something good. They've been very strong at various parts of the season, but just never quite been able to get it there in the end. Of course, they did go and take a win in the sprint race for the Austrian Grand Prix, but they got it demoted down to P2 or 3, I can't remember which one, due to time penalties. So still yet to find that win in LSI. But they're going to give it their best shot, I'm sure. Purple first sector. Heisler looking quick right here. Can he take the momentum into the second and third? Once we watch the rest of this lap, we'll then have to go and do a bit of an investigation. Other than that, this is what's going on. Goes off the circuit. That's fine in qualifying. You can do that in qualifying without being penalised in any way. So, yep. No regulations at turn 9 during qualifying. He extends it as he's allowed to do. purple middle sector as well. Is this going to be pole position here for Heisler? Is he going to be able to challenge once again for pole position? And will he be able to convert it? He's in the home team car. Maybe it'll give him a bit of an edge, but I don't know. Round the final few corners, bit of a lock-up. Oh, not ideal. Goes over the inside curb a little bit harshly, loses the car. And we'll only know what could have happened. That is such a shame there for Heisler, and that is not going to be pole position. We'll watch on board with Bassoon as they're going very slowly, actually, through turn 1, which is an interesting situation for them to be in. So we will instead go on board with Gilly as we go and have a look at a couple of things. So bear with me for a minute. Or a yellow with a Mercedes. Unfortunately, we are going to go and watch on board. We see Frantic push themselves up to P5. Good to see them back. Not too bad for their first main lap. I don't know if they actually set one before that or not. We've got Mizzy, who has had those yellow sectors. We've got Cohen trying to improve here. Alrighty, unfortunately Cohen has invalidated, so they're going to have to go again shortly. Alrighty, there we go. Now, we're sorted and we're going to be good to go. Unfortunately, Robbo will have that grid place penalty, so hopefully they can get a good position to try and reduce the impact of that has, of course. Let's see what they're going in the first sector. It's pretty much dead on. Now, that first sector is very tricky to get right. So, I wouldn't be too disheartened right now because the first sector, even if they haven't lost or gained too much time in the first sector, they can gain a ton in the second and third. We're going to watch on board and see what they can find towards Maggots and Beckett's, and they get so close to the track limits. It's too close, and unfortunately that'll be another lap time invalidated. Lots of lap times this session that have been lost to invalidations, and we've actually only got 2 cars out on track right now, which is Robbo followed by Nifo. Is Robbo going to stay out and carry on? We will watch on board and see, and then we'll just go on board with Nifo for a couple of minutes, of course, until the end of the session. 4 minutes left, not too long. Is going to go into the pit lane, so we're going to sit on with this guy who's currently not setting lap times, of course, so they're just setting invalid laps. Let's watch on board and see how it is done. Yes, he didn't race yesterday, of course, but he's still a pretty quick driver, I should say. Yeah, not racing yesterday, unfortunately missing the last race of the season for the F1 tier, but it's brilliant to see them back. Even if it's F1.5, we just want to see Nifo in the final event of the season. It's good to see them. We've got Gilly on an outlap, so we'll watch on board with them in a minute, but we'll still stay on board with Nifo as they just get a couple practice laps in, and that is going to be them disqualifying themselves from the race. This is how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. Go into the corner, make sure your car can't turn around easily, and then you just let it be you. That is the way you disqualify your car from the session. to avoid causing problems for anybody else, of course. Gilly is going to be setting a lap next. Then we will have Frantic, who will be right after. We also have one of the Mercedes on their way out as well. Is that going to be Mizzy or Robbo? Mizzy did go into the pit lane a bit earlier, so I'd expect it to be Mizzy. It is Mizzy. Surprise, surprise. So he is on his way out. Everybody else is going to wait a little bit longer to come out in the final stages of the session. Pursoon is also on their way out. We don't know what the current time is. It's going to be about 2 minutes. No, 3 minutes exactly on the current timing sheets. So we got a bit more time, but everybody's going to start exiting the pit lane and going for their final runs. Of course, we've got Eager Pro, Nifo, higher tier drivers. They're not going to be setting lap times. Everybody else will, though, so we could have 9 drivers on track, with JJ, of course, having the issue earlier on. We've got Gilly on a lap, though. We will watch on board. Alrighty. Sorry for the issues. We've got a pretty tricky situation that is very, very difficult to look into. So I do apologise for the moments of silence, but we're back on board for the final few minutes of the qualifying session. Gilly has got their final run. This is probably going to be their final run. I don't expect them to get enough time to set any more. So this is it. They've got to make sure that they don't invalidate, and they've got to make sure that they get this final time in. 1/10 up. This could put them into P4, maybe P5 actually. Unlikely to get to P2. They're going to find a bit more time if they want to do that. They make a mistake at Stowe, and that is going to be a P6 or lower for Gilly, unfortunately. That is not what we want to see. They might have one more chance, but the ERS for them is gone. It's not going to be easy to catch back. We don't know the delta of Frantic if they're up or down, but we do know they're about to finish this lap. What's it going to be for them in the Haas, round the final corner? Frantic makes a return to LSI. What's it going to be qualifying-wise? It's going to be a 10th improvement, but not enough to get ahead of Robbo. It's about a 100th away from, no, 300ths away, I should say, from Robbo there. That is not what we want to see at all. Robbo, I really hope they get a good qualifying position here, because of course those issues did not help them at all. We've got the Alfa Romeos starting their laps on the session. We've got Mizzy on their way, but they've invalidated. Robbo's warming up, getting ready, I guess hoping for a bit of a slipstream from their teammate, although their teammate of course invalidated, so they're going to want to go one final time. So we're going to watch on board with Robbo and see if they can get a good grid position. I really hope they do, because we want them to have a damage limitation for this issue. But unfortunately we couldn't really see what happened, so nothing we can really do. From what seems to have happened, it just seems to be very accidental, but I don't know. We'll have to look at it later on. The time is up. He's gonna get a tow from his teammate. His teammate didn't want to go for the lap in the end anyway. Gonna dive out the way, gonna give him that lovely slipstream into turn 6 and through 7. Smooth on the throttle. Let's keep it lovely, lovely stuff. We're going to carry on board and watch to the end of this lap to see where Robbo does put himself. A 28.004 is where he is. He needs 3/10 to challenge Cohen, and even more time if he wants to be able to challenge. He needs 7/10 if he wants to get to Pursoon. He can definitely do that. He's capable, but he's made the mistake as he pushes the car to the limits. Unfortunately, they are round. That's going to be it. Going to have to move out the way for everybody else, and that will be qualifying done. Mizzy will not improve. Heischler to P3 in the end. Lovely, lovely lap from them. Cohen goes purple. Will Pursoon be able to challenge again after this one? They're on a lap to try and do their best. Cohen's still got to get this lap done. Let's find out. Into the final chicane they go, through club, left, right, and then another right. Is it going to go? their way today? I don't know. Bit of a squirmy moment on the throttle, and it's not going to be enough. Regardless, Bassoon goes into the pit lane, doesn't need to improve. He is on pole position. He is on pole position. Cohen, this time around, misses out. A brilliant effort there for Cohen. But just, what a shame. 2 tenths away. In the end, 2 tenths from the AlphaTauri. But regardless, that's the way it's going to go for today's race. Eichler P3, brilliant job from him. Does push Robbo down, so Robbo's going to start P10 in the end, which isn't what we want to see. But, yeah, unfortunately right now, nothing we can do, and I do apologise to them a lot. Just waiting for Bassoon to retire the car, and then we will get into the race. Here we go. Here we go. For the final time this season, we're about to go racing, and for the final time I will take you through the grid. Bassoon takes pole position, Cohen P2, Eichler P3, this is the rest of the grid, and then we'll skim through the race director. Just in case, please don't crash, please don't crash. Oh, there you go, just about keeps it together. That was incredible. And we didn't even get to see it. Unfortunately, Hosh leaves the session. Get ready. Go! Who's going to get it into time 1? I do not know. Bassoon or Cohen? Who will take the lead? It looks like Bassoon. A phenomenal start from him. That's the AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, I should say, going off the circuit as they try their best to keep it in a straight line. And they've managed to do it. I say a straight line the right way round. And that is Bassoon taking a phenomenal lead. There's cars off at the back. There's a Mercedes unfortunately getting tangled up a little bit. That's Mizzy unfortunately spinning, and I think there might have been a little bit of contact. Hosha restarts the session. Lots of cars off. Frantic goes off. I don't know what just happened there. A virtual safety car is deployed, rightfully so, and that is Cohen actually making the move over the AlphaTauri. So a lot of chaos happened. Gilly P3, Heisler lost out a little bit, but they're back in the session luckily, and they do take a P4. Then we have Robbo in P5, and they've made a very good recovery. So that virtual safety car has been not the worst for them, not ideal, but of course they are now in P5 where they actually started the race. Egapro all the way up, JJ in P7, Mio Diamati, Frantic, Zora, Niffer and Mizzy having that issue, but it doesn't look like anybody's got actually any damage unless Frantic had some earlier. Yes, they do, unfortunately. I don't know what happened. Hopefully there aren't any issues caused, but we'll have to look at it. Of course, it was pretty a big tangle on the start of the stream, but it is what it is. Nothing we can look at now for these guys. Gilly right behind them. They've got a train of cars looking for positions here. We've got Hosh that really wanted to get through Cohen, going for the fastest lap as he leads the way, taking that lead away from Bassoon. Of course, they didn't get the initial start phase, as that is, wow, okay, Robbo sending it on the inside of Egapro. No, it was Heister, sorry, and Heister goes off down the order. He spins P to turn 2, down to P10, unfortunately. EagerPro, watch that behind. And that is going to be a 10-second that will get removed from Heischer there. Robbo P4 trying to make their way towards Gilly now. A lot of chaos around here at Silverstone. Regardless, these two have run away with it a little bit, of course. So they're doing a very, very good job. Heischer unfortunately has a couple more issues. Gilly sitting on their own. They've got a bit of a gap between them and Robbo, but not really enough to be too safe, because Robbo really wants to try and push to get that DRS range when it becomes available, of course. I don't know if we're going to have a lap delay on the DRS because of the virtual safety car. I don't think we will, because it didn't cross over to the next lap. It was just about half a lap, the virtual safety car. But time will tell, of course, if I'm correct or incorrect. We don't know yet. Robbo is catching up nicely. These two are sticking together very, very well at the moment. We've got Nifo, who might have a look here on Zora. No, they won't. They're going to sit behind right now. Will they get a good run? Not good enough. They go defensive, interestingly, allowing Nifo to catch up a little bit. That is Bassoon going for a fastest lap. You can see that they're rapid, and they really want to take this lead back sooner rather than later. Cohen wants to finish off the season on a high and get a win that he missed out on the last few races, of course, and he binned it in Belgium, and he had a pretty tough race back in Austria. All started off with a bad qualifying for him, of course. Bassoon wants to just try and prove everybody what he's got, of course, and strike a bit of fear into everybody else's eyes. We know how quick he can be, and he's a very, very, very good driver when it comes to race pace, as we were proved in Belgium. Getting the toe, is he really going to push for a move? No, he's not. We do have Gilly right there. Robbo, no, they're all splitting up a little bit. There's a bit of a gap. I was looking for somebody who was making a move. I don't know who it was. No one at the moment. These guys, though, are going to be so, so close. Cohen leads the way, but the first main or proper overtaking opportunity of this race is right here. He managed to use the first DRS straight to gain up and set a little bit of a move up, but this time it's the first opportunity, doesn't manage to get it done. That's a yellow, unfortunately, as Mio Diamati makes a mistake, such a rapid driver, but just having more and more issues that prevents them from getting further up the grid. Not ideal at all. Not what we want to see, of course. That is Mio Diamati retiring the car, as they actually voluntarily retire the car at turn 9, so they will get a penalty for that. I think that is their second time doing it. We'll have to look into it later on, of course. Bassoon looking so close to the back of the AlphaTauri, not close enough to make a move just yet. DRS available, they'll catch a little bit, but once again it's not going to be enough to do anything. The car's behind. Gilly, Robbo, EagerPro in a Ferrari sandwich. They're not in a position to make any overtakes at the moment. EagerPro is a higher tier driver. Just kind of has to let things play out a little bit, try and spot some safe overtakes and then go for them. He can't be too aggressive with what he's doing. He can still race, but he does need to be selective. Now, following behind in the dirt, yeah, trying his best to keep it together. We've got Gilly also behind. These guys are going to have a bit of a battle on their hands very, very soon. Sticking with these guys, though. Is he going to bother going for a move? 2.2 seconds is the gap. He's got a nice run, but not really a nice enough one to secure a really good move. I reckon Bassoon might just think, you know what, we're in a bit of a train here. We're just going to keep it going. I'm going to let Cohen use all of his energy to stay ahead. He's probably just going to let him push himself and not worry about anything else other than that too much, of course. Makes a bit of a mistake, but nothing too much to worry about. Going to lose a minor amount of time. Other than that, he's going to catch it back up immediately. Very, very confident through the corners, loving it so far. We've got Nifojan getting a fastest lap as he's close to the cars behind. Robbo so close as well. Are they going to want to look for a move sooner rather than later? I don't know. Of course, the cars ahead are not too far away, so if they can push and maybe get into clean air, they might be able to unleash something, but we know how quick Gilly is in the straight line, just impossible to pass. We've got the McLaren of JJ having pressure from Nifo, who's right behind. He's an F1 driver, but he can still do a bit of racing. Is he going to go for it? No. Just going to wait, let JJ stay ahead for now. I think they were battling someone else earlier on, but unfortunately that battle has come to an end. I believe it might have been Zora who might have been just ahead. Other than that, it is too late. We'll go back to the race leaders. Pursoon can't find a way through yet, but this time they're a lot closer. Can they secure a good run? Robbo also looking racy. ERS is being used by Pursoon to try and gain a little bit more, but it's not going to be enough. Here we go though. Robbo is going to make a move onto Gilly. Goes to the inside line. EagerPro behind is also going to want to try and make a move, and they stick their nose in, but they have to back out immediately. That is Robbo through. Gilly looking to send it back to the inside to try and get the position back. It's not enough. They can't be late enough on the brakes, even with the better tyres, and they're going to have to let him go. That is a very, very good overtake there for Robbo, and a brave defence there for Gilly to try and get back through, but no, the medium tyres just seem to be too dead, and maybe a really, really, really low downforce setup for Gilly isn't helping him too much. It does seem to be that you want to go low on the downforce around Silverstone, but you can't go too low, otherwise you're going to have such a significant disadvantage. We'll have to wait and see how it plans out, of course, later into the race when the strategy really kicks in. Gilly does, at the moment, have the more disadvantaged strategy, but never say never. It could change up very, very, very quickly in a very short space of time. We'll have to wait and see how it plans out. As always, time will tell. It always does, because, you know, that's the way life works. Gilly is going to be in DRS range, but nothing to be writing home about. Not close enough yet. This guy is very, very close, but Cullen's extremely strong on the exit of Knights and Beckett's. He's using the ERS, got the DRS, he's getting a run. Is he going to try and challenge into the corner? No. Once again, he did it similarly to last lap, and he just didn't bother going for a move in the end. He didn't actually want to go for it. Oh, and that is EagerPro making a mistake, unfortunately. They were attempting a move, it looked like, on Gilly, maybe just getting a bit close. And unfortunately, the dirty air just got a bit too much, and that is a nasty, nasty spin. But magically, EagerPro is still in this race, and that is good to see that he's still in this race. That was a close call for them, for sure. Will Pursoon go for the move, though? That is the question. Time will tell. As usual, I'll try and stop saying that because I've said it way too many times right now. Williams versus AlphaTauri. He's not pushing for it. He's just waiting. He's waiting for Cohen to get a bad exit, although when we saw him in the last 2 laps, he used a little bit of ERS and he caught up a lot. So he is quick. He is very, very quick, and he can make this move. He's just choosing not to. The pit lane is going to be open around about, what is it, lap 14? Was it? I don't know what it was yesterday. I've completely forgotten. I can't believe it. Anyway, it's going to be open around about then-ish kind of area. Maybe are we going to see 10 laps on the mediums and then 16 laps on the hards? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I can't quite remember, even though I was literally looking at the strategy just a couple of minutes ago. Cohen leads the way still, and Pursoon doesn't try to make a move. We've got Robbo, who is leading the way from Gilly. Gilly not in the DRS range anymore, so they're not going to have the benefit of that rear wing opening, unfortunately, and that might allow them to pull away. Niffo's going to try their best to catch up, and maybe they can try and go for a last to first. That would be very, very good to see, as they did back in Belgium, of course. A brilliant drive from them. Despite a couple of issues, they managed to get through. No safety cars so far, and it doesn't look like we're going to have any safety cars for a while at least. We've unfortunately got Frantic and Mizzy, of course, having their issues earlier on, and they have had to spend quite a long time on their own. The beauty of that is they do have clean air, and they will have a significant undercut. The disadvantage is they've had to pit a lot earlier, and they're going to have to change the strategy up a little bit, otherwise they could be in a bit of trouble. Robbo 2.6 seconds behind. Pursoon, or I should say Pursoon, has maybe recognised that their not exactly safe from Robbo. Robbo does have a time penalty, but they do need to make sure that they don't fight too hard and allow him to close up. This time, however, the ERS is being used. It's being used by Cohen as well. Cohen's gone defensive with the energy deployment, and he holds on to the position. Brilliant, brilliant stuff there. Is he going to try and go to the inside line? No, not going to try and send it. But you saw Pursuit go for that first real overtaking attempt. But immediately Cohen counteracts it by using ERS as well. Like I was trying to say, if these guys fight too hard, Robbo will catch up to them. And this circuit, you're so prone to getting time penalties. So these guys could still get time penalties later on in the session if they're not careful. Looking so close, trying to put the pressure onto Cohen. Cohen's not phased through that corner. Realises you'd be way too stupid if you're going to make a move there. That's not a clever idea to make a move. You're just going to lose us both so much time. They are losing time. That is unfortunately not Eager Pro round. That is the Alfa Romeo Zora round, making a mistake at turn 1. That very, very tricky corner to get right on occasions, of course. Following closely, they're trying their best to put the pressure on right now to get through on Cohen. And of course, when you put the pressure on, the car ahead might be able to make a couple mistakes, which might benefit you later on in the race if they go and get themselves a warning. But of course, something to note is that I've forgotten. I've completely forgotten. Overtake might be available here. Is he going to go for the move? No, he's going to slot behind and wait. Is he going to go for it into the chicane? That might be his plan here. He's not using ERS. It's not looking like it. Once again, just sitting behind. They don't lose or gain anything on Robbo behind, so I don't really understand what their plan is. They did a similar situation, or a similar kind of strategy to Eager Pro in Belgium. Now, there was thinking behind that. They were waiting to the final laps to secure the move on Eager Pro and not allow him to try and get back on the DRS or anything like that. This might be the case up until the pit stops if Pursuit wants to have the advantage when he goes into the pit lane. So he might want to go for moves at some point soon, stay ahead for the pit stops, and then see what happens. They're going to go for the move. Onto the inside they go. Are they going to secure it? Cohen tries to let them go. Look at a switchback. Is it available? No, it is not. That is Pursuit into the lead. Brilliant, brilliant job. Amazing stuff. Will Robbo be able to catch up? They gain about, is that 0.3 to the cars ahead? So they are gaining just a tad. Is it going to be enough though? Now Pursuit has their first real moment in clean air, and they might be able to push here. We'll have to wait and see. Another tenth that Robbo is now finding. He's got a bit of a roll on at the moment. 1.8. JJ gets a 3-second. I don't know, someone else there. But yeah, DRS available, ERS available. 0.5 is Pursuit being ahead at the moment. We're still yet to see the full potential, really. Regardless, Robbo is catching up fairly nicely at the moment. 1.7 seconds, 1.6 seconds. So Cohen has to make sure, regardless of what happens, he stays with Pursuit. But Pursuit is trying their best to push and keep Robbo out of their DRS, of course. He's gone for the fastest lap. Absolutely rapid right now. That is the gravel chucked up by Cohen straight into Robbo's face. Regardless, 0.3 seconds. You can see how close he is. Loving this at the moment. The gap is a very, very nice gap for him. He needs just a little bit more, and then he will be within DRS, and Cohen gets a 3-second. Pursuit has such an advantage. Absolutely amazing. Lap 11 out of the 26, and he has no time penalties. The lead of the race. Amazing. 0.4 is what Robbo lost there on the DRS straight. That is how costly it is if you're not in a DRS train. But Robbo still has a couple more corners to try and catch up. He's got Maggots and Beckett's, which are going to be mega powerful if you've got clean air. Is it going to be enough, though? That is the question. He's also just gone and got himself... Oh, no, Cohen's just gone and got himself a time penalty, so he might be a little bit hindered on the confidence. But I don't know. Robbo doesn't catch that much, and he's going to only lose time here because Cohen just about holds on to the DRS of Pursuit. Both of these guys have blasted the ERS. They've got nothing left as they try and split away from each other. I say that. Cohen tries to catch back up and stay behind, whereas Pursuit is trying to push away and prevent Curran from getting into the DRS. So, interesting strategies right here. Might just about nab the DRS Curran if he's lucky, but I don't know. Yes, he does. He's gonna keep the DRS. So a brilliant effort there for Curran. Persoon has used all their ERS to try and break away. Robbo may be in a bit of a similar situation. They just did it a little bit earlier on, because now all of a sudden they're losing time after time after time. For their sake, they hope that the cars ahead split apart just a little bit, but not enough. He doesn't want the DRS train to be that strong, because he gains so much time that he either wants them to fight or not be in a DRS train. And at the moment, they're not fighting and they're in a DRS train, so he's got everything they don't want them to do. He does have ERS left in his car. He does still have pace to give, but he's just not giving it at the moment. 2.1 seconds. He's losing lots and lots and lots of time. All of a sudden, Curran and Persoon, who were very slow last lap, are now absolutely rapid. ERS is not available for these cars, but DRS is much available for Curran. He goes from a 7/10 gap up to a 6/10, almost makes it a 5/10 gap. So he's nice and close, and he's not going to be going anywhere from Persoon anytime soon. Gilly has recently lost that position to Niffo. Niffo makes that move, and he's going to try and make a charge. 5.7 seconds with no time penalties is his current situation, so he still has a good chance of getting a very good result. If I dare say a win, he might have to be a bit creative with the strategy, undercut or overcut, whatever he chooses. But still, his pace is mega. Despite not racing yesterday and not having that extra Grand Prix under his belt, he is absolutely rapid. 5.5 seconds is the gap. Watch how that changes, see if he does actually catch, or if I'm just bigging him up for no reason. I don't quite know. Regardless, he definitely deserves a lot of praise, Niffo. He's an incredibly good driver. 5.4 seconds. He is catching as expected. Robbo in P3, they've kind of maintained the gap so far. They've got it a bit more under control. Curran, he's got his gap under control as well. So these guys are pretty much just sat in their positions at the moment. You could argue that Robbo is still faster regardless, because he's maintained that gap despite not having the DRS. He's actually gained a bit, but he will now lose a bit of time. As you see, 1/10, 2/10. Is it going to go to 3/10? It will not. Just about missing the 3/10 range there for Robbo. That's what he likes to see. He still has a whole second to catch up to the cars ahead, and that's Curran making a bit of a mistake. That's going to allow Robbo to catch up, but no, he's made even more of a mistake, and he isn't able to catch up to the Williams. Is he going to be able to get it within the next few laps before the pit stops occur? I don't know. Gilly goes into the pit lane, so it was about lap 14, at least for the medium tyre. So, if that's a lap 14, we could see people coming in to the pit lane. What am I saying? I say we're going to do about 12 laps on the medium tyre. So I reckon we're going to be going in on lap 14. No. What am I talking about? I'm absolutely waffling. Are we going to be doing 14 laps on the hards and going into the pit lane on lap 14 to put a set of mediums on? Is that right? Maybe lap 15 onto the medium tyre? My brain is completely frazzled there. Still, just about staying in DRS range is not Curran. Not Curran. He doesn't keep it. I thought he did, but he just about loses it. This might be an opportunity here for Persoon to run away, go into the pit lane while the car ahead doesn't have the DRS. He does go for it, for sure. Brilliant response there for Persoon. He's going to get the undercut as well. We've got Robbo and P2, who all of a sudden have found their mojo again. They've caught up nicely to Curran. They can see their opportunity. They might be able to get a bit of a DRS train going. Possibly, I say DRS train, be more of a slingshot at this stage because it's not going to exactly last long. but he doesn't go to the pit lane, which I'm surprised at. Cohen didn't pit. I reckon if you go for the undercut, you probably would want to pit, but unless he's trying to consider maybe a bit more of a drastic overcut. Remember, the pit lane here at Silverstone is about 30 seconds. It's massive. So that's going to have to be considered, of course. He's 25 seconds behind these guys, leaving the pit lane. He's going to lose a little bit more time because of his cold tyres as well. Not too much. So actually maybe it's 26 seconds, not 30 seconds. More or less 30 seconds, you know, of course. We've got a yellow. That is JJ making a mistake on the entry of turn 1. That is an interesting mistake to make. Heisler also makes a pit lane. Is that them going to be lapped? I think it is. Unfortunately there for Heisler. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. I am being a little bit dim there. I do apologise. Mifo seems to also have made a pit stop. So they've gone for the undercut. Will these guys go to the pit lane? It will be the safer option to react. Cohen goes for the safer option. Robbo does not. I'm interested to see how this goes, you know. I'm glad somebody has gone for the gamble. I am glad somebody has done something a little bit different. So now we can see how it really plans out. They're going to lose a lot initially, but their tyres are going to be pretty good later on. And regarding Silverstone being one of the circuits that has so technical features with the front tyres wearing significantly, especially compared to the rears, that might be an advantage because he could encounter less oversteer, or understeer, I should say, later on into the race. Don't know. Time will tell. Let's see. Pursoon is going to take the advantage. They go purple. How much of an advantage will they have over Cohen? What will the undercut have given them on one lap? 2 seconds. That's about a second advantage. 1.5 seconds advantage, I will say, because they were about a second away. So 1.5 seconds, maybe even 2 seconds advantage there that Pursoon had from that undercut. Robbo, if he can quickly think about that in his head and figure out that advantage has been gained, he might decide to go into the pit lane immediately. I don't know if he would do that or not. Now, he is getting DRS here from his teammate. That's annoying, but not in the rulebook. It's not in the rulebook. It's annoying for the other cars. It's brilliant news for him, but it's not in the rulebook. Robbo decides to go into the pit lane after getting that tow. So that is an interesting situation. Like I said, it's not exactly stated in the rulebook, and at the moment, with the way it was just used then, it's not a bad situation to be in. If it was like a blue flagged infringement and they were sat in front, causing the battle ahead, or behind I should say, to be impeded, then it would be different. But because he's on his own and choosing to be in that train, then no, he wasn't being impeded. Robbo into the pit lane. Pursoon is going to fly by. He's not going to see him anytime soon. Robbo is fairly close, They go side by side here. They're going to go side by side to the inside line. Does the Williams go? He's going to have the advantage on warm tyres. Robbo tries his best to fight it with everything he can, but the tyres are too cold. Squirming away, loses the advantage, loses the position. But wow. What an overcut there for Robbo. Cohen must have had a really bad stint, even worse than I thought. I thought he was just trying to warm up the tyres, but no. That was a really tricky situation there for Cohen. He struggled to get the tyres up to a good operating window, temperature-wise maybe. Just trying to get used to them compared to the hard tyres. And meanwhile, Pursoon has just been able to pull away. It's not like these guys have fought hard to give him an advantage either. He has just pulled away outright. So brilliant job from him. 3.5 seconds is the gap that Nifo has. They gained about 2 seconds from when we last checked. Robbo's going to be in attacking range soon. We have, of course, Nifo behind. Gilly, Eager Pro, who's going to get the DRS on their teammate today, and they might be able to get a move sooner rather than later. Following behind them, we have Heisler, Zora Frantic, Mizzy, JJ, all having their issues earlier on. It's such a shame. Oh, Egopro's already going to go for the move. Just tries to bait him. He's going to leave the space anyway, is Gilly. Egopro's going to spot that, wants to go for a move, but they're not going to be able to go for it. They're going to sit behind this time, and they're going to wait for another opportunity. But, yeah, interestingly, Gilly decided to let him go there. I'm a bit surprised at that one, not going to lie. Didn't know why he was leaving the space, although he's getting a lovely, lovely run. Wanted to go to the inside, then decided to go to the outside, but Gilly had, that's a tricky corner. That's a really tricky corner, especially with people having low downforce setups. You can't exactly take the corner very easily. That is kind of the racing line taken there for Gilly, so I don't know if Egopro can really be too worried about that one. I don't know. That was a tricky situation to be in, and I'm just glad Egopro managed to recognise it before anything bad happened there, of course. So Egopro trying his best to get through, but can't quite find a way. Heischler, of course, having the issues at the beginning of the race. Such a shame to see them down the order immediately. Hopefully we can see them get something later on. That is Egopro having a mistake. That is a yellow there for Zorro. Unfortunately, more issues for them. Egopro getting a time penalty, which isn't ideal, but they're nice and close to the back of their teammate. They're going to go for the move, easily done on the superior tyre, and they're going to try and catch up to the rest of the field if possible. The front of that Ferrari is very dirty. Very, very dirty. Gilly, not so dirty. He hasn't really been following behind other cars as such. He's kind of just been the one in front of a train. So yeah, a very, very dirty car there for Egopro. Gilly not so much, but now he might find a bit of dirt going onto the front of his car if he's not careful. We've got Robbo in P3. They're slowly working their way to an overtaking opportunity. However, Cohen is also trying to slowly catch up to Pursun. Robbo has got to spot that if they want to try and go for this race win. Are they going to try and let Cohen do his thing and see if he can maybe catch up? I don't quite know. Regardless of the situation, he wants to get through. If he wants to go for it sooner or later, we don't know. But yeah, he's got to play it strategically. Pursun is leading the way by a nice big gap. Doesn't have a time penalty at the moment. Even if he does get a 6 second, he still would have a 3 second advantage over Cohen and Robbo. Robbo's not close enough to make a move anytime soon, as you can see the hot air being thrown out the back of the car by the Williams. Nothing can be done so far. That is Nifo making a mistake, unfortunately. They were closing so much, they might have got a podium, but unfortunately it's not going to happen. They would have probably got P2 actually, regarding the time penalty situation. But unfortunately it's not going to happen. That is Nifo going to be in P4. They're going to hope for a miracle if they want to get a podium, but still P4 isn't going to be too bad. They can still hold on to this. Egopro might find an opportunity here if his tyres are going to be good enough temperature-wise, because Nifo's tyres are going to be absolutely baking. So he might be able to catch up here, but he's got to do it now. Time penalty wise as well, it's not going to be easy, so he's got to pray that either Nitho makes another mistake or gets themselves a time penalty themselves. Alrighty. Pursun is leading the way. We've got these guys nice and close, closer than ever this time around. Let's see how it goes, shall we? Robbo's going to look for their first overtaking opportunity of the race. He's going to go right behind him, use the ERS. DRS available. Is he going to push for it, or will Cohen be able to defend? I don't know. He's pushing, but it's not going to be enough to really challenge. He's going to get nice and close. Would he want to go into the braking zone? He does want to go for it, but he backs out, looks away. Just for a moment, thought he was going to send it, but no, wasn't going to be enough. Cohen wasn't phased. He thought, you know what, you're not close enough. I'm going to take the corner. You're not close enough. Robert recognised that. And he's going to sit behind him. Once again, can't find his way through. Egopro having a few issues as Gilly catches up to him on that hard tyre, and he loses time to Nifo. So Even though Niffo had that issue, he can't seem to find a way to get further up the order. Closes up a lot. You can see the flashing light on the back of the Williams. No longer is the advantage a 3-second gap to Pursuit and Cohen. Cohen seems to be the faster car. Robbo seems to be the faster out of the three. Is he really going to go for a move on the inside? No, surely not. Surely not. No, he's going to wait. He's going to wait. He's got a lot of pace. That is a yellow there for Mizzy. Unfortunately, at Stowe having more issues. They're just going to get ahead of Zora, but Zora might be able to get back through tyre-wise. We'll have to wait and see. But here we go. It's just their first overtaking opportunity. Once again, Cohen very, very strong on the exit. Magnussen Beckett's not strong enough, though, as Robbo goes for a bit of a fakie, goes to the outside line, and that is Cohen trying to hold it round the outside. He does, but not enough. A brilliant, brilliant move there for Robbo. He makes it into P2, and in the process, they both catch Pursuit. That is amazing. They both caught time, just a little bit of time to Pursuit there. That is absolutely incredible. Both now, you can see no ERS left for them. Robbo used a lot of ERS to try and get that move done. He's now unleashed into a bit more clean air. He's got to try and get himself together and catch up to Pursuit if he wants to go for this win. Have any shot at it, of course. But time penalty-wise, he won't have a chance. So he's got to still hope. There's more laps to go in this race, and it could very, very, very well change. We're going to have a go and take a quick look at these guys as Zora is trying their best to catch up, but doesn't look too easy at the moment as they can't find their way through the silver car. But the red and white car is going to get the DRS. They've got a bit of energy to deploy, and they're going to go for the move on the outside as Cohen gets another 3 second. Unfortunately, that's not going to help them later on. Mizzy trying to send it back to the inside, goes off the circuit. Zora does get back ahead. Moving in the braking zone, though, for Zora, so Zora's probably going to lose that position and time penalties if they do that too many times. They've got to be really careful how they do that. Mizzy is unfortunately round. That is that one done. Pursuit needs to wait 2.9 seconds. He's recognised that Robbo was catching just a little bit, and he's decided, you know what, I'm going to push a bit more. Even though the 3 second advantage is there, he just wants to push a tiny bit more. Cohen, P3 at the moment, 0.4 seconds away. Although 6 second time penalty, he doesn't really need to push at the moment. He has a 3 second disadvantage to Robbo and a 6 second disadvantage to Pursuit with the time penalty. So why would he fight? Why would he fight him? There's no reason to do it because he'd only be hindering Robbo unless Robbo was in for a time penalty later on. That might be the case. If he wants to go for moves, then he would probably have to go for it on the last few laps. But at the moment, at this stage of the race, he can still try and wait to see if Robbo can catch up to Pursuit. But at the moment, it's not really happening. Pursuit's just found a bit of extra time to just use. He must have been saving earlier on. You can see all that time that he gains there. Phenomenal driving for him. Absolutely awesome stuff. That is, of course, Mizzy being lapped once again. Their teammate does not get the DRS. They're going to have to let these guys go through. And that is good news for Cohen, of course. There's going to be no DRS strain. Robbo can't find any extra time to catch up. Mizzy goes into the pit lane looking for a fastest lap, maybe. Nope, they've gone to retire instead, which I'm surprised at. They could have gone for a very easy fastest lap and they would have still got the points because they are there are higher tier drivers in front of them, of course. But it is what it is. A heck of a shame for them in the end. No safety cars have happened this race, which has made it extremely difficult for many, many drivers. Extremely easy for this guy. I say extremely easy. He hasn't had an easy race. It's been they've had a couple of battles, of course, but it hasn't seemed to be too much of a problem in the second phase of this race. That's what I should say. Brilliant job from him right now. We're going to watch on board a little bit more, and then we will go back and see Cohen and Robbo, of course. But doing an amazing job so far, is Bassoon. Loving this. Robbo leads the way of this little train. Cohen sat behind. Nifo can't find any more time to catch up. They struggled really to get that under 9 seconds. But the cars ahead, having that constant flow of DRS has just made it extremely difficult. Gilly sitting behind. They had the battles with their teammate earlier on, but they weren't really able to take advantage of it. We've got Heisler, who is catching up. They might have a look on Gilly on the final few laps, even though they have the time penalty on their hands. Frantic. Such a shame to see them down the order. They deserve a lot more from what they had earlier on. Of course, we saw their skills in Austria. We didn't see them last race in Belgium, but this time they haven't been able to show it from a lap 1 incident and no safety cars. Very, very strange to see no safety cars around a circuit that is this chaotic. I'm really surprised, honestly. I don't really know how it's not happened. Zora in P10, unfortunately, making mistakes earlier on in this race, which also hasn't allowed them to fight. Bassoon on lap 25 out of 26. Doing a lovely job. Robbo now might be under a bit of pressure because Cohen might have a look at making a move. He might want to go for it. We'll have to wait and see if he does give it a shot. He's got a couple straights left, not too long to go, and he will run out of time to make that move. So he's got to calculate it correctly. That is another yellow for Zora, unfortunately. Regardless, it doesn't matter. We're on the final few laps of this race. Cohen pushes harder and harder, but they get another time penalty. They're now 6 seconds disadvantage to Robbo. There's not really any point of them making this move unless they just want to try and go for it. It looks like they do want to try and go for it. And to be honest, I don't really blame them. Final little bit of glory this season. Is it going to be worth it? They're probably not going to fight it too hard. But they can just give it a slight chance, of course. A slight chance would be nice to see, of course. But we've got Heisler and Gilly. They will not switch positions. They got one more lap to do so. But this guy has started the final lap of this race. We will check on him very, very shortly. But these guys are the guys to watch at the moment. Cohen so close to the back of the Mercedes. They want to go for final move, even though it's not going to be for position. Just get it on track. DRS available, ERS, what is left of it, is available. Not now. Not going to go for it now. They're going to have to wait a little bit more and then try and go for something in a little while. Is it going to be possible? I do not know. I do not know. Cohen, it's not looking good at the moment, but they might find something. Just one good exit and one mistake from Robbo will be an advantage to them. I am interested to see if Heisler can get that move done. I don't quite know if it's going to be possible. 6/10 is what Robbo has now to Cohen. He's absolutely legged it. Mega, mega, mega job in the final sector of this race. Absolutely amazing. Cohen will not be able to challenge. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Doesn't look like Heisler's going to be able to challenge either. Gilly is rapid in a straight line and they've got a nice bit of an advantage. However, this guy has done it all. Amazing, amazing drive. He's going to take 2 wins in a row, and this time's overall. Bassoon wins the British Grand Prix. Robbo will take a brilliant P2, a phenomenal recovery after their qualifying issues. Cohen takes the P3, a nice podium to finish off the season. Nefo will get that. Eager Pro, Gilly and Heisler. Heisler, will he go for the final move? No! Goes to the outside line. He isn't able to get it done. Has an extra time penalty on his hands. Eager Pro, then Gilly, then Heisler in P7. He will take some points. Frantic in P8, and they will score points. I have to say, I salute these guys for staying into this race. Amazing. That is what we want to see, and that is what we love. Extra points for them. Lovely, lovely stuff. They deserve more, but still, points is what they deserve, so they've got a couple to put to their name. Brilliant stuff. JJ in a very similar position as well, and Zora, of course. They will also score points as well. That is the double to finish off the season for Bassoon there. That is amazing stuff. Phenomenal drive, got a lot of pace and a lot of potential. a lot of potential. Just realised Nifo actually only 9/10 away from Cohen there regarding those time penalties, so he did a very good job to try and catch up, just wasn't enough in the end. Regardless, it wouldn't have been enough, of course, because Nifo's a higher tier driver, so he wouldn't have got the points taken away from him anyway. Alpha Tauri are on top. Amazing, amazing. If Jan gets the driver of the day, I think that's not too bad. Of course, he had a very, very nice drive from the back of the grid. Bit of a mistake, but a nice recovery. This guy is an absolute legend. If you thought Belgium was a fluke, it definitely wasn't. He's done it twice. He's done it 2 times in a row, and the second time was even better. Bassoon takes the win, Robbo in P2, then we got Cohen in P3, Nifo, Gilly, Eager Pro the fastest lap, Heischler in P7, we got Frantic, JJ, Zora finishing off the grid, then we got Mizzy and Meal Diomati both DNFing earlier on in the race. We're going to skim through the race director just in case if we need to later on. You know, these track limits can be pretty tricky around here at Silverstone. Then we'll go through the final pit stops. That has been the final F1.5 race. We will be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Don't go anywhere. Hello everyone and welcome to the post-race interviews of the British Grand Prix, or Great British Grand Prix, however you like to say it. It's the final race of F1.5. Gilly, we start with you. Home Grand Prix championship is decided, so nothing really to lose or gain from that one. Just trying to drive your best, I guess. You take a P4 for the EU drivers. I think. Are you happy with that or not so much?
I had the best start I could have got. Normally I messed up starts, and I had a good start, so I'm happy. I'm just happy because of that start. I could have finished anywhere, but that start makes me happy.
Oh, fair enough. That's good. That's good. I mean, there's nothing really. There's no race next week to really talk about. Next season, do you think you'll be able to challenge for a title again? Are you willing to put in the effort to try and give it a shot, or are you gonna just see how it goes?
Next season I'm gonna win F1. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I hope you can. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
I don't like it.
Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Well done today. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we move on to Robbo. Robbo, that was a pretty crazy race. Of course, the issues in qualifying weren't ideal, but pretty much after the first 2 corners, you were immediately back into where you qualified. So that kind of made that cancel it out, luckily. Later on into the race, of course, you had some nice battles. Can you just take us through it? I'm not going to say anything more.
Yeah, I think I was sort of after all the madness had eased out from the first few laps, it was sort of I was a constantly 2-second gap to Cohen and Persoon. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I was constantly there, and then I thought maybe with the pit stops I can gain a bit, and then Cohen lost DRS. I think he lost a bit, and then I went for the overcut. That was really close coming out of the pits, but Cohen had the fresher tyres, so he was able to get that. But overall, I think in the corners I was just slightly faster than Cohen. I was able to save a bit more ERS, and once I got past, he was able to get close, but I don't think he was able to get close enough to get a solid attempt going. But yeah, it was great pace from him and Persoon, and overall I think it was a pretty good final race to finish off the season with.
Yeah, are you happy with the P2, or did you want a bit more?
I always want a bit more.
Question.
But yeah, I think I'll always want to challenge for first. But I think considering the 5 grid penalty, and you're getting that 3-second time penalty due to track limits, I'm happy with the P2. You know.
Yeah, it made it quite difficult to get in the battle with the first stint. So not ideal, but still managed to make your way up the order. Looking to next season, do you think you can challenge for the championship?
Yeah, definitely. I think my second half of the season's been a lot better. I've gained a bit of pace to the others. I've been a lot faster, slightly more consistent with my races. Like I looked on the sheet the other day, in my first season was a lot of DNFs just for silly driving. So I think I can definitely do that, and this race kind of shows that it will be close next season between quite a few drivers.
Yeah, awesome. I like that. Well done today. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Bad first stint.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. It's been great. Thank you. Well done.
Cheers.
And we move on to Heisler, I think, is next. Regardless, we've gone for it now. It's too late. Heisler, not what we wanted to see, unfortunately. Right off the bat, had some issues. Only got worse. After that, you're just kind of getting tire data, I guess. Can you take us through it?
The game thought, let's fuck that guy again. Yeah, the game crashed by just switching from the tire menu to the setup menu. Still don't know how. And then I rejoined during the VSC, and Robbo and I went side by side in turn 1, and that ended in tears for me. But from there, pretty much I was really catching up to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite nice to see that I didn't spin and just kept the pace up really good. But yeah, in the end I had fun with my pace, and I think I can be happy with that.
Yeah, I guess it's good to know the potential's there. But initial issues at the start, in addition with no safety cars being deployed, it kind of messes everything up. So to do what you did, it's a pretty good job in the end. Also getting close to making overtake regardless of time penalties was nice to see, but it is what it is. Next season, if you would look for a permanent seat, would you try to challenge for a title? Hypothetically.
In what tier? In this tier?
Any tier. If you want to take
tier.
a permanent seat in any tier, either tier.
If I can fight for the title, Jesus. I don't know. Perhaps. I think if I am in the right positions, I can get wins and things. But yeah, for example, Persona and Cohen are faster than me, so maybe not. It needs to go my way then.
Yeah, fair enough. Really, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully we can see you maybe have better race starts in the future. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
This game is shit.
Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.
It's 4, but I don't care.
We love F1.22. Thank you very much, Halter. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And yeah, we gotta love the game. I'll tell you, somebody who was probably not too happy with the game, Cohen, getting quite a few time penalties, trying to push the limits as much as they could. Right. Opening stages, you managed to get into the lead. Brilliant job there. Are you happy with the first stint? The second stint, did you just not have the pace on the mediums? I don't know.
Yeah, well, at the end of the first stint, I lost a lot of pace on the hards. No grip actually. I also had 0 practice because I was sick the last days. But yeah, the medium stint was not great as well. But yeah, with no practice, yeah, what can you expect?
Yeah, fair enough. A great effort. I hope you're better now or better soon, if not now. But yeah, still very, very good battling. So thank you very much to keep it entertaining throughout. It's a shame that we didn't get to see you challenge for the top spots later on, but we did see some great battles. So thank you very much. Next season, you will definitely be challenging for the championship. I assume it's a pretty stupid question to bother asking.
Yeah, next year I will try and be will be racing every race, of course, because I lost or missed.
Yeah, at the start of the season.
Yeah, and if I can do that, I'm going for the title.
Yeah.
I want it to be mine. So let's see.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. If you look at like you said, if you would have got to those races at the beginning, you'd have definitely been there. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. You can't do anything about it now. Yeah,
exactly.
You can only go up. So yeah, really good job.
That's true.
Amazing second half of the season. It's been great to see. Thank you very much for all the good battles. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
9-second time penalties. That's forward.
That's all right.
I don't care.
Thank you very much. So I think we'll have to say, can you sum up your race in a brief phrase or sentence? Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Well done today.
Yes, thank you.
And we move on to Nifo. Nifo, last 4th, I think. Are you happy with that? It could have been a podium, but
what do you think?
Missed. Just 9/10 away.
Yeah, I mean, I already lost so much time at the start. At literally a car spun in front of me, so I had to avoid it, and in doing so, I spun. Which, I mean, I could have been more careful, but in that moment you see a car coming in front of you, so you just kind of panic, and then I spun, lost a lot of seconds.
Yeah.
And then during the VSC, I overtook a spun car, and I had to give the position back. Lost two more positions to that, and a lot of time because my delta was like +4 when it restarted. So at that point, I was already like, yeah, I'm not gonna catch those guys because although I'm an F1 driver, the guys at the front are basically F1 pace, maybe a little bit off, and sometimes a little bit quicker as well. I mean, I didn't even have high expectations because same as Cohen, I didn't have a lot of practice. Not because I was sick, I was just very busy. So the last spin was completely my fault, just lack of practice and maybe a loss of hope as well. But yeah, the rest of the race was just getting past cars, and then at a certain point you just get a no man's land and you just start driving. But yeah, overall, yeah, I mean. I couldn't have done much more except maybe not spinning and getting the position on Cohen and Robbo. But in the overall picture, because I'm a higher tier driver, it wouldn't have mattered for its standings. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy.
Fair enough. Maybe it seems that drivers from the Netherlands just can't have good races at Silverstone. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems to be something that is happening in the real world and also today. Next season, we're going to talk about F1, of course, as you are an F1 driver. Do you think you'll be able to challenge for the title? You've definitely improved a lot in the later part of the season.
I mean,
Say yes, because I know you can.
Okay. I'm gonna say it will be closer than. I hope it will be closer than this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I really gotta fix some. I gotta find some more pace and definitely a bit more consistency before I am really certain I'm gonna be challenging. But I think there is a chance. I put it that way.
And there's time before as well. The season starts. I think if anybody can do it, you can. So yeah, you're definitely gonna be there. Really well done. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
I'm very alone.
Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And I want to quickly say a couple words from Pursuit. He's not in the interviews, but he said, good job to Robbo and Cohen. Strategy, stay behind Cohen for a while. Tried to overtake him via the pit lane. Tried to get him and Robbo to battle, which worked, so very happy. That's his 3 words, so very happy. Lovely stuff. Thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure. We will see you next season in F1.5 in around about mid-January, and then we will see you on Tuesday for the Great British Grand Prix for round 3 in the final round of the winter season and the final round of 2022. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next time. Bye. See ya.